I've just been having a lot more sex, you know? I was hooking up with this one person. Like, when we're done, she's like, oh shit, like, like, my boyfriend called. I'm like, oh shit, you have a fucking boyfriend? That's the moment I realized I just hated hooking up with people.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Oh,
Did you, like, just take a bong rip?
No, do I sound high?
Well, no, you opened up the call by... Well, I mean, actually, yes, now you do sound high. But you also... You sound high, and you started off the call by taking a coughing fit.
No. I'm not high.
That sounded like crying just now, actually.
No. This is just so funny. I'm just so nervous.
Oh, okay. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. This is funny. This is objectively funny. You are on the phone with a guy in a gecko costume. It's funny. I'll admit that.
This is pretty funny.
You're in a funny situation right now. We're both in funny situations right now. I'm wearing a gecko costume on the phone with a random guy. This is pretty funny.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Dwayne, it says here that you are thinking about committing yourself to celibacy. And you wanted to talk through that. Why are you thinking about committing yourself to celibacy, Dwayne?
All right, so should I just get right into it? Recently,
yeah, definitely.
I've just been having a lot more sex, you know, and like it's actually crazy because the thing is, so I'm 19, right? When I was in high school, I was like really fucking ugly, you know, and I didn't really have a whole lot of sex. But then, like a few months after I graduated high school, you know, I started hooking up more, and then maybe a little bit more, and like the last, like, I would say 6 to 8 months, you know, I've just been like hooking up so much, and it's crazy, you know what I mean? And the thing is, I hate it, you know, like I hate it.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I feel like you're giving me a top line right now. I want to finish your top line, and then I have questions.
All right. So I hate it, you know, but like the thing is, like, I just this is gonna sound so weird, but like,
no, please.
I love the way sex feels, and I'm actually like really good at it. Like it's so funny. Like it's actually crazy.
Okay.
I've just been having a lot more sex lately, and I kind of hate it, you know. Like it's actually, I hate it.
Okay.
Like it's gotten to the point where like I'll be like driving home after like I'm done hooking up with someone, and like I'll just be on the verge of tears. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, damn, like what am I doing with myself? Like, am I really just going out and just doing all this for? Because it's meaningless, you know. Like I'll never hit up the person after, or maybe we'll talk one more time after, but that's pretty much it, you know. Like, that's the only interaction I'll have. And, you know, I just feel like shit. You know, like, it's wild.
So, how... You said you've been kind of doing this for 8 months.
Yeah. Like, I would say, like, the last 8 months, I've been doing it a lot more.
Okay, so tell me, how long into... At what point in that 8-month period did you realize that you hated it?
I first realized this maybe like 3 weeks ago. I was hooking up with this one person, and the thing that made me start to hate it more was she actually had a boyfriend, and he called her like while we're in the middle of like hooking up, right, while we're in the middle of fucking. And like when we're done, she's like, "Oh shit!" Like like my boyfriend called. I'm like, "Oh shit, you have a fucking boyfriend?" And at that moment, I would just sort of realize, I was like, "Damn!" Like I really, like that's the moment I realized like I just hated hooking up with people. And so recently, like within the last few, I would say last few days, I recently started considering maybe I should, you know, like commit myself to celibacy, not forever or anything, but like until I
for a little bit.
find, or until I am in a long-term relationship, you know.
Okay. So you said you at some point recently were hooking up with someone and you were driving home and you started crying, like it got that bad.
I was on the verge of tears.
Like,
I was on the verge of tears.
Yeah. Can I hear, like, when you were on the verge of tears, what were you thinking? What were you feeling?
I was just thinking how much I hated myself. Like how, well, not I don't want to say hated myself, but like how much I felt like an object, I guess.
Okay.
I don't really know. Like I just felt so bad because it was just a meaningless interaction that I had, and I kept doing it, you know. And I'm like, why am I doing this? It's just like there's just nothing there, you know. But I'm still doing it, and that sort of just made me feel like that, you know.
Let me ask you this: you were going on a little bit ago before I yelled at you about talking to the chat about talking about how you liked doing it because you gave me a few things. You said you didn't feel confident in high school. You're more confident now. You were telling me that you felt like you were good at it. And then there was another thing.
Yeah, so in high school, or like actually like I don't want to say just high school, but like the vast majority of my life, except within like the last like a little less than a year, like the last like year or so, I've been like really unconfident. I'm not gonna lie, I was really ugly, really nerdy, you know. And now I'm much more attractive. Now I have more confidence, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So all those things that weren't available for me, you know, i.e. sex, all that wasn't available for me, it now is.
So I mean, are you feeling
it's available because like it's not like I have like women to pick and choose from, but like now I have more of an opportunity to have sex, you know what I mean?
Sure. And so now are you feeling as though you are like making up for lost time or trying to take heavy advantage of this newfound confidence in how you look? Is that sort of a symptom of this?
Yeah. Because what if it goes away, you know? Like, what if I'm never going to have this opportunity to have sex again? Or like have... Okay. But like that's what part of me is thinking, and like the other part of me is thinking like, but I don't want to have all this meaningless sex.
Why did you, when you were, and you can tell me whatever the honest answer to this is, why did you want to bring up that you felt like you were good at it? How does that play into this?
I just thought that was funny, but like I don't know, like I'm pretty. I like to think I'm pretty good at it. But that's just my opinion, you know.
Okay.
I like to think I'm like above average.
So this is like a validation. Is this like a validation thing?
Yeah. Because I didn't have that. You know, I never had that validation all of my life actually, except at this point. And I'm like, oh, now people are attracted to me. Now people want me. This is great, right? But no, it's actually not great.
And you know what's funny is that like you think that like having sex with a bunch of people like gets you the validation. It's not going to get you because the validation's the actual true validation. It's never going to come from anywhere except you know, something very internal. I think. I don't know. I'm stupid, but
no, I agree with you because I had a lot of friends that you know, when we were seniors in high school, they, you know, started having a lot more sex, and they were like, and they felt the same way. They were like, because I was like the last one in my friend group to lose my virginity, and they were like, Dwayne, trust me, like it's not worth it. Like you don't want this. And I'm like, all my friends are actually like, they're really gorgeous. You know, like they're all super handsome. They're incredibly good looking. So I'm like, you know, well, of course you can say that because you can have literally anyone you want. Literally look in the mirror like you're so hot, you know. But I'm not, you know what I mean? And then now I'm at that point where I'm realizing, damn, they're kind of right. You know what's crazy, Lyle? Every person that I've had sex with, I've met off a dating app. Like it's so wild.
I have to bring
it's
something
it's
up,
just crazy.
right? I have to bring something up right now that
Yes, sir.
I think about that I really want to draw attention to. I'm imagining right now, and maybe this is whoever's listening. I'm imagining right now somebody who never has sex, I'm imagining right now a young dude who never has sex that's listening to this call and is pissed off at you. And let me finish about this. Who's upset. And they're thinking like, oh, easy for you to say, oh, you just came in to brag, oh, this and that. And I'm imagining it, and I want to just say, if that's you and you're listening to this right now, you have to the fact that you're coming on here and you're saying, I am a young, attractive dude, and I'm having a ton of sex, and it's not the fucking answer. Isn't that what you would want to hear? If you're a young guy hung up on not having sex with anyone, don't you want to hear from somebody? Wouldn't you want to hear from someone? Oh, hey, I actually have the thing that you're obsessed with. Like, I have lost my virginity. I have the thing that you're obsessed with, and it wasn't the answer to the problems that you think it's the answer to. Isn't that what you would want to hear? So we're all on this consensus that this thing that's held in such a high regard, which is having sex with a bunch of people, is not the answer.
It's not the answer.
So I wanted to bring that up, just as a thing, because I'm thinking about somebody who doesn't have sex with a lot of people that's listening to this, and it's just like, that's what you would want to hear. Is the thing that you're fixated on is really not the fucking thing you need to be fixated on. But back to you.
Yeah, and now I'm at this point where I'm like, maybe I should just stop, because the last time I had sex was just a few days ago, and I was just out of it the whole time, like I was not into it, like I was not into her at all, like I was just, like the whole time I was just like, damn, like in my mind I was just thinking, damn, what the actual fuck am I doing right now? Like I should just stop. So I was just like, hey, can we stop? And then like I left, and now I came to that realization I was telling you about earlier. I'm like, maybe I should just commit myself to celibacy until, like I find a long-term partner, or until I find someone who I really want to be with,
Well, yeah, man, I think
I'm tired of just this this meaningless, emotionless sex is just draining me mentally, like I hate it.
Well, Dwayne, man, I think that if that's what you feel like you should do it.
Yeah. You're right. I should.
Oh no, I said I wasn't going to tell people what to do. But
no. Like I was already going to do this. I just wanted a second opinion,
Well, Dwayne, I'm glad to hear that you have sort of self-diagnosed your problem and are making an effort to fix it. And again, like I said when I'm telling you about how I'm thinking about somebody who does not have a lot of sex, and that takes up a lot of their headspace. I'm like thinking about this call from their filter. And I think it's a helpful thing, you sharing this experience, because again, it adds further evidence to the idea that the solution to life's problems likely does not, here I go, I'm saying some hippie shit, that the solution to life's problems does not lie in anything external.
Yeah.
But Lyle, why do you put
right.
ads on your podcast if the solution to life's problems doesn't lie in anything external? Because I like buying candy bars in bulk and eating all of them, because it helps me forget about my problems for a little bit.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm a big fan
man.
of the stream too. Like I watch it. Thank you, man. most days, and I listen to you on Spotify too.
Thank you for calling, Dwayne. Is there anything else you want to say to the people at the computer before we go?
No, I just want to say thank you, and yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Have a nice night.
Have a good night, Dwayne.
Bye.
See, this would be a great place to put a podcast ad. Right here. Hello?
Lyle. Is that you?
Hi. Yeah, who is this?
This is Leroy.
How's it going, Leroy?
Good. How are you doing tonight?
I'm a Gecko on the computer, man. How can I Geck you this evening?
Well, I have an issue that I'm kind of upset about.
Hit me.
Sorry, you might hear my cat in the background. He's a bit noisy.
Hit me.
Yeah, I'm upset because I want to be your friend in like a real life, genuine human check-in on each other way.
Sure.
But I understand that that's like a parasocial fantasy. Because I like the portrayal you put forward of yourself on the internet.
It's true. It's true. Is that it? I don't know if you were done talking.
Yeah, that's it.
See, it's interesting. I barely even hang out with my friends in real life, to be honest. I guess I don't do friends the way that most people do, maybe. I don't know if that's true. No, that's probably not true. But anyway, let's see. You want to be friends with me, but you feel as though it is impossible. Well, like, okay, you live in New Zealand, right?
I do, yeah.
See, look, I feel like I'm not a good, like, I think the fantasy that we would text each other all the time and, like, be really major parts of each other's lives is almost certainly not going to happen. But I don't know, if I go to New Zealand,
it's unrealistic.
It's unrealistic, but if I go to New Zealand, I do a show, I'm hanging out afterwards, maybe we'd hang out. I could hang out with anyone. Hey, because hanging out is like there's no real commitment there. Like, I can't be in your life, and I can't even promise you I'd hang out with you because you live in New Zealand. But I'm thinking in my head, if I ever went to New Zealand, I did a show, I was hanging out at the bar afterwards, we did a whole thing. We could hang out. We could have a genuine human conversation with each other. I could see that happening. I would enjoy that, actually. That would be fun. But no, I don't think that we would become any sort of close, lasting friends. Even if you, for many reasons. Many reasons that have nothing at all to do with who you are as a person. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like even just logistically, it's not a match made in heaven. I think the just meeting and having a human conversation would probably satisfy.
You know what's crazy is that you could be like the perfect kind of dude that I would be friends with, and I still wouldn't. I don't think it would happen because for many just logistical reasons. Yeah,
it's a frustrating thing with celebrities in general. I think because they share like they bear their soul in the art they share with us, and you feel like you know them, but then like it's obvious that there's a setup there at the start where if you're a fan of them, you can never really have a genuine human friendship because you're always chasing the image, not the reality.
And it's funny. You know what's funny is this isn't even a thing of like, streamer viewer thing. I think just in my life, I'm like, I'm very non-committal with most of my relationships, be they, any kind. And I'm very much like, if I'm with you, like if you and I were standing at a bar and we were talking to each other, I'd be like, okay, in this moment that I'm staring at you and we're with each other, I'm with you right now. We're homies. But I can only ever guarantee the moment. You know what I'm saying? I can only, even with my real life friends, I feel like I can only ever guarantee the moment. I feel like I can't, like I couldn't commit to a package of 6 consecutive weekends that I'll hang out with my real life friends. You know what I'm saying? I can only commit to the moment that I'm in.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a problem. I don't know if that's a function of the way that I live my life, but that's how I feel about my real life friends as well.
I feel like that's kind of beautiful though, because that teaches you to savor everything you're living for the exact now that you're experiencing, instead of chasing something that might be better that probably isn't.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I like having this conversation with you so much more than if I were just like, yeah, of course I'll be your friend, because I don't want to lie to you.
Yeah. I'm genuinely really grateful for the moment we're sharing now. Like I just had a day off work and decided to call in and thought, there's no way. And then I'm talking to you now, which doesn't feel real, but I'm grateful.
That's true. We are with each other in this moment right now. I cannot promise a moment outside of this one, but I can promise to be in this phone call that we are on currently.
I really like that. This is it's a memory that I'm currently creating but already cherishing.
Can I ask you this? While I have you, is there anything that like, let's say we were, lifelong friends, right? What is there anything you would want to talk about? Like now that like we're in this moment currently?
I like what you said before about the sharing moments with people. I like the friendships where we can sit comfortably together in a room doing completely separate things, but just merely sharing the space with the person feels like a bonding experience.
It does kind of feel like what we're doing right now, because you're in a different, complete other continent, and yet we're just sitting here on the phone.
Yeah, it's like we're in completely, like we're probably about as far away from each other as we could be, but
it's true.
We're both focused on the other person. I like that.
Do you have a lot of friends in real life, Leroy?
Leroy. And I have a couple of very close friends, and then a lot of friends.
Have you ever heard the Parks and Recreation
There's a lot of people I see fairly.
From the guy, and he's like, sometimes if somebody gets too friendly with me, I'll call them by the wrong name. I didn't do that intentionally, but sorry, you were saying real things to me, and I interrupted it. Say that stupid thing. You were telling me about your friends in real life.
Yeah, I have a small handful of very close friends that I would like share secrets and bare my soul with, and then a lot of people that I see very regularly that I enjoy seeing. And I think I guess you could call them friends, but they're people I enjoy seeing, not someone I'd go to in a crisis.
Are you satisfied with the friendship sphere of your life currently?
I am. I reflect on that sometimes. Of like I'm happy with my circle, and that doesn't mean it's closed, but the people that I have are quite cool.
I like that. Well, fuck. All right. Shit. If I come to New Zealand, maybe we can hang out.
Yeah, I'd love to hang out.
Okay. All right. We'll figure that out. I'm gonna try. Well, I'm going to Australia. I don't know how far that is. Come there. That'll make it easier.
It's like a 3-hour flight.
Okay.
depending on where in Australia you go.
Laura, is there anything else you want to say to the people at the computer before we go?
No, I've been in a completely separate room to where I had the stream going, just talking to you. But I do want to say thank you to you for sharing this moment with me. I never expected it, and it's been really special.
Hey, thanks for sharing this moment with me as well. Hopefully I'll see you when I go down under. That sounded sexual.
Hopefully.
But actually it didn't. It only sounded sexual after I said that. Thank you for calling. Is it Leroy or Leroy?
Leroy.
Thank you for calling, Leroy.
Thank you, Lyle. Sorry, Geck.
You know what, Leroy? I feel like we reached a level in our relationship where if you truly desire, you can call me Lyle. Hello?
Hey.
Hi, is this Liz?
If you must. I prefer Elizabeth, but that's okay.
What's going on with you? How can I get you today?
Well, about a month ago or so, I had friends that just called me on a whim and were like, hey, do you want to jump out of an airplane with me? And I was like, yes. So we met halfway from where we live, and we jumped out, and it was the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. Honestly, it was like, I'm an adrenaline junkie, and I almost bailed, and then I did it, and like, ever since then, the rest of my life has just been like really boring.
Okay, so you went skydiving, and then ever since, your rest of your life has been very boring.
Correct. So, and I have like not loved my job. I'm like actually working towards getting my dive master in scuba diving to like potentially dabble in that. The biggest problem is like I don't make a ton of money at my job, but I would make a lot more than I do in any other way. And my husband just bought a business, so like all of my money is there. So I'm like having this struggle of like, do I stay with my corporate job that is so boring and not fulfilling, but I like can't find a plan to get where I want, if that makes sense.
Tell me what it is that you want. Where are you trying to get to?
I mean, honestly, like best case scenario. The best case scenario would be to like marry rich, and then I could just do what I want. But alas, I married ambition, and that one's out. Second,
you tried to get in early. You married someone with the potential to get rich.
Right. But then, it turns out he's like a socialist and believes in like creating his company as like employee owned and sharing all of the profits with the employees. So
oh my God. You married the wrong guy if you're looking to get rich.
I know. So we're going to let that one ride for a couple more years and see how that plays out. So which means I need to come up with like a plan.
Okay, yes. So you're going to let that one ride, see how it plays out, and in the meantime, you're going to come up with a plan. Okay, so, listen, Liz, what do you want to do with your time?
I just want to feel like I'm contributing positively. Like, right now, I'm literally a number, and, like, I help a lot of people, but the people that I'm just, like, I'm a pawn in a corporation, and it, like, feels horrible.
Okay, so again, listen, we know what you don't want to do. We know you don't want to be a cog in the corporate machine, but what do you want to do, Liz?
If I could really do anything, it would be like skydiving instructor, like scuba diving instructor, but that would require moving to the ocean and again business. I want to do something where I feel like I'm making an impact, so like, and pays me well so that I can do all the fun
Well,
things
if you're a skydiving instructor, I would hope you're not making an impact.
Good one.
Okay, so you want to make an impact. What else? What are some things that you feel like you could do to make an impact?
Here's the problem. There's a million things that I could do to make an impact, and I'm sure, like, in a lot of ways, whatever. It's just that I have like my securities licenses, so I do like work in the financial industry. So it just took me so long to get here. So it's like just all of the things that I wanted to do, that I would want to do, would be, I guess it's the fear of starting over, I think is really my biggest hurdle. Like this would require me going in night classes, not doing anything except hustling, and it would take me like another 5 years, right? And then it sounds like the only way forward is to start over, right? If you're in this job that you don't like. I mean, you could either start over or, be unhappy for the next, 60 years just pushing paper and doing your financial job. So, I mean, starting over is really the only chance you have at doing a thing that will make you remotely happy. I know. Yeah, I mean, the flip side is, because the job is easy, there is zero stress, and I make decent money. So it's like, do I just suck it up and ride the corporate train, and like that pays me to do, like I can afford to do the things that I want to do? Or
does your job have flexibility?
Kind of. Like, they just started telling us in advance, like, we have to schedule our breaks now, Like,
can you make money? Like, all right, these things that you say you're going to have to start over doing, like being a skydiving instructor or scuba instructor, like, can you not pursue these things while you are still employed with the financial company?
Right, and I totally can. It's just that it ends up in a place where I'm qualified to make not very much money, but I have a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. You should try to brainwash your husband into becoming a capitalist, and that way you can still kind of have that as a backup in case if none of this works.
I know, and it could happen. He owns a bike shop, like a backcountry.
He owns a bike shop. I feel like how rich can you really get owning a bike shop?
You can't. He can live. We get a lot of discounts on the bike. Like, we're big mountain bikers, do that kind of thing. So we get all the discounts on that too, which helps. But yeah, you can't.
Well, I don't know if being rich and getting discounts on bicycles are the same thing, but they are. It's not nothing.
Right. But just to like a little sidebar here, while I was on with Bree, shout out to Bree, happy birthday, Bree. We kind of had a chat about it because I think she's having similar feelings about not being air-screen caller, but her other occupation. And we came to the conclusion that I should just learn to be a mermaid. So I don't know if you thought of that or not.
I don't know if being a mermaid is something that you can learn how to do. I think you have to be born that.
Were you born a gecko?
Touche. Liz, is there anything else you want to say to the people at the computer before we go?
No, that was it. But yeah, thank you.
Thanks for calling.
Bye.
Man, I hope that woman either gets a new job or a divorce or I don't know, whatever it is that'll make her happy in life. Hello?
Hello.
What's up? All right, that was not that was not anything. That was not even a noise.
Did you?
Okay.
I said, how did it go?
All right, you started with not a noise, and then we got to a noise. I feel like we are on an upward trajectory towards words, perhaps even sentences.
Yeah, those could develop, perhaps. Could happen.
Okay. What is your name?
I am Dakota.
You are Dakota. Okay, that's a full sentence. See, I was right. We did it.
We got there.
What's going on with you, Dakota?
I just got a new job, and I'm just working at the moment. That's all I got. I mean, nothing crazy going on.
That's not true. You called
But-
in to talk to me about something, didn't you?
Well, yes, yeah, but it was in the past. Nothing.
What is it that you wanted
I called
to talk
in
about?
today. I called in today to talk about my ex that believed that porn was cheating. That was her theory, and the whole time she had this theory, I was watching porn behind her back. So some would say I was cheating.
Okay. How long did you date this person for?
I'm a round up and say 4 years.
You did it for 4 years, and the whole time you were watching porn.
Yeah. I mean, there's like 3 months where I wasn't.
Okay. How deep into
When,
the
like-
relationship did she tell you that she believed that watching porn was cheating?
I'm gonna say a solid 2 months into it, and it just came up in a conversation, and she was like, I don't really like it. I think it paints women in a negative light. And I was like, yeah, I agree, and she's like, I don't feel comfortable with you watching it. And I was like, okay, I'll stop watching it. And then, but I came up another time and she talked about it, and I was like, I mean, yeah, I still watch it. And then she started crying. Yeah.
So, I mean, okay, look, every relationship, cheating is not some objective, standardized metric across the world. I mean, people argue about this all the time. They're like, is dancing with someone cheating? Is flirting with someone cheating? There are some relationships where the couples have decided that each other can have sex with other people, and that's not cheating. And then that's on one side, okay? And then on the other side of the spectrum, there are couples who have decided that, such as in your case, watching porn is cheating. And so it's really up to the people in the relationship to set their own standards of what they're cool with. And Dakota, listen.
I am.
Undeniably, there was a boundary set, and undeniably, you did knowingly break that boundary.
That is a hard truth I have to accept, yes.
How did you guys talk about this? What was the conversation like?
It was a long time ago, but it was just, normal at first, and I don't know, just came up in the conversation talking about porn and just saying she does not like it. She does not like people watching it. She thinks it's terrible. But then there's also that time, recently, before the breakup, she was like, oh, I'd make an OnlyFans, why not? So she would dive into porn herself, but wouldn't watch it. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I mean, listen, none of that stuff, whether or not she would say she makes an OnlyFans. I mean, listen, the girl told you point blank. See, listen, Dakota, I think here's next time what you should do. Okay. If you start a relationship with someone and they're like, okay, if we are going to be in an exclusive relationship, if we have decided I'm your girlfriend, you're my boyfriend, vibes, and we are writing the contract of our relationship, and I'm letting you know that I want this in the contract, I'm communicating that to you. If at the time that contract is being written, you disagree adamantly with that clause that she would like to be in the contract, you got to make that clear ahead of time.
Oh, okay.
What is your
I
thoughts
understand.
on all of this?
Well, there's another aspect to it. I mean, she was
Tell me the other
not
aspect.
putting out. She was not putting out, like, we're 20, you know.
Mhm.
I feel like at this ripe age, we should be, experimenting. We should be, doing all these things.
Mhm.
And that was just not happening for weeks on end.
Sure,
and so
but
I was just always left.
and Dakota, listen, it's okay if you're in a relationship and like you want to have sex and the other person doesn't want to have sex. You're not a villain for wanting to have sex, but you got to leave that relationship like at that time. You can't just be like staying in it and trying to get your way while you're in it. Like if sex is important to you and the other person doesn't want to, just find a different thing, instead you're like wasting this person's time, this person, like it's okay to call it quits if you're not getting what you desire out of the relationship. But to stay in it,
not like it was not like a deciding factor of the relationship. Like it was just another aspect to it that she was not, it felt like she didn't like me, like, because it wasn't happening a lot.
So why did you stay so long if it really just seems like it wasn't working out between you guys?
Because it was, I mean, it was, like, I can't say that it was a deciding factor, but it was just, I was, followed her out to college, like all this. And
Okay.
we were living together, like, it was just really deep into it.
Okay. So you were really deep into a thing that was not working.
It was, there was absolutely nothing wrong with it. Like, I can't say that. Like, there was nothing wrong with the relationship. That it was just, I was watching porn behind the back. That's the main thing that I was doing that was wrong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What are you dating anyone now, Dakota?
Not currently.
Man, listen, I think, like, if you could take away something from this experience as you navigate your relationships in the future, it's like, dude, if a thing is not working, and it just sounded like this relationship was not working for you, but, okay, I'm going to give my thing of this. It sounded like this relationship was not working for you, but you didn't want to leave because you were, quote, in too deep. And so instead of leaving because you were in too deep, you were, like, navigating to like, figure out a way to get what you desire while still staying in it, which was, like, just next time, just leave next time. If it's not working out, just leave. Save both of you guys time and energy and leave. You're never in too deep. Okay? You don't own her. She doesn't own you. Things are if you're gonna be in a relationship, be in it until it doesn't work out. If it's not working out, just leave. Why would you stay because you're, quote, in too deep? That doesn't make sense to me.
Like, I'm not, like, saying that I was, sticking with her, like, because I was in too deep. Like, I had a lot of love for that girl, but this is, like, not, like, the deciding factor of our relationship of why it ended. Like, it was her deciding that she needs to find herself and figure out what she wants in life. Okay,
good for her.
Yeah, that's good. It is good for her, but it wasn't the truth. But it's good that she saved my heart by saying that.
What do you mean it wasn't the truth?
Like, she's not really, like, looking to find herself, because she told me she was, like, trying to find a relationship already, like, 2 weeks after we broke up. Like, she was already talking to another dude from her class.
Maybe talking to the other dude from her class was, in her definition of finding herself, part of that journey. But also at that point, when she tells you that and it becomes over, you no longer need to be dissecting the truthfulness of her statements. You know, at that point, you should be moving on with your life.
Mm-hmm. I definitely have since then.
How long ago was this?
May 23rd.
Of this year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's next for you, Dakota? What are you doing in your life?
Currently, I moved. So I moved from my hometown 6 hours away to follow this girl to college, and then now I moved an hour away from that spot, and I'm just looking for. I'm in college right now, so I'm taking a gap year, then going back to college because I couldn't apply to the same one I was going to because I was leaving.
Okay. Listen, what I'm saying here is, so much fucking easier said than done. Like, I very much empathize with the idea of being in too deep and that making you scared to make certain decisions. But I hope from this thing that you learn better to recognize as soon as you can when you are, quote, in too deep, and make the proper decision that saves you and the other person some time.
Okay. That's fair.
How do you feel about this conversation that we have had? I'm genuinely curious.
I feel, I've learned a lesson for sure. I feel like I've gained something out of this.
Okay, good. Dakota, is there anything else you want to say to the people of the computer before we go?
Hold on to your forever, as long as possible. Because it doesn't last as long as you want it to. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you for calling, Dakota.
Thank you.
Dakota was. It said here he was 20. It sounded like maybe it was one of his first relationships. I don't know. I shouldn't be saying things like that. I shouldn't be assuming information. But yeah, I guess it can be scary when you feel as though you are in too deep into something to leave it. But fuck, man, sometimes you got to. If not for your own sake, for the sake of the other people involved in the thing, And I hope that girl did go on to fucking find herself and find whatever it is. If it's a relationship with somebody who is on a same wavelength with her about porn and about things like that, or if it's spending some time by herself, whatever it is, I hope she found her thing. I hope Dakota finds his thing and they both live happy, productive lives as human beings on the earth. I am a gecko. Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
What's going on?
Okay. Oh my god, sorry. So, sorry, there's a dog. I've been calling for months to try and talk about this. So basically, I got fired from my job a little while ago in September. I'm non-binary, and my managers kind of had an issue with that. They were really disrespectful about it. Everyone else that worked there was really awesome. Right now I'm with two of my best friends that I met there. And yeah. Sorry, I'm very nervous.
No, it's okay. It's interesting. We actually just had somebody call in who the exact same thing happened to them. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah, we've been on this whole call, and you said my name in the beginning, and we were like, "Holy shit, that means something." Sorry, I cussed. That means something. Sorry.
You can cuss, but you can. Have you listened to the podcast? You can cuss.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. You're totally right. You're totally right.
So okay, I mean, so I kind of talked about it with the caller who was a teacher, that the same thing happened to them. What is your story?
Okay, so basically I've had issues with them like the whole time. Like 2 of them were basically like, we're just straight up not going to use your pronouns. Like, you know, you look very feminine presenting, and normally I'm super understanding. Like, I am feminine presenting, and like, but it's people refusing to like use it that pisses me off and bothers me. So I've always had an issue with that. And then this new manager came in a little bit before, and he was like, he was basically always talking about how he's got a trans friend and he's super liberal, yada yada, blah 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 blah. And I wore like these earrings once that were like they them, and it was to make them remember to use them. And he came up to me and he was like, "Oh, they them. I know a whole bunch of like adverbs," and he just listed a shit ton of fucking adverbs. Like to me, he just says really weird things like that, and he'll corner people. He's known for being very like racist and homophobic, a whole bunch of issues. So one day.
So Jaden, no, it's okay. No, actually, finish your story. I want to hear kind of where you're at.
So basically, one day it kind of compiled, and I was trying to talk to them about how I needed to be paid like what these new people were being paid. Anyway, it was a different thing that I wanted to talk about. So I told one of the different managers I needed to talk to the main dude who I said all these things about. And so they started talking, and one of my coworkers came up to me, and she was like, "They're talking about you having a problem with using pronouns." I was like, "What the fuck? That's not even what I want to talk about." And so I was like, whatever. I just kept doing my job. And then a little while later, they're like right behind me. And he says, trans people shouldn't play in sports. And there's XY chromosome and XX chromosome. Like right behind me. And also, we worked in a restaurant. And it was right in front of customers and everything. A whole bunch of people, like, very loudly. And I kind of turned around and I was like, "You don't know what you're talking about? You don't need to say that shit. Like, I'm trans. You don't need to say that anywhere. You're a manager. You shouldn't say that kind of stuff." And like, I just kind of went off on him and then like went to the back and took my little vape break because I was stressed.
Yeah.
And then people came and consoled me, and then a little while later he was like, "Can we go talk outside for a little bit?" And so we did, and he just talked for like, I swear to God, like an hour about how liberal he is and how like he didn't mean any of that, and like it came across not what he meant, and like he's got trans friends, and we just argued basically back and forth for an hour.
So did he end up firing you after this?
No, so basically that happened a month before I got fired, and I called HR after this happened, and I reported him, and that was a whole thing, and an investigation was held, I guess, but I wasn't really there when it happened. I was kind of out of town. I kind of didn't mean to plan it like that, but it kind of worked out great because I'm kind of not great. Like, I wouldn't want to go to work if I knew that I had to be dealing with that shit. And, but when I got back, everyone was like, "I don't know, something might happen. He might be getting fired. I don't know what's going to happen." And then everyone just walked on, like all the managers kind of walked on eggshells around me. And it was really weird. And then kind of like, I don't know how long, it wasn't that long later that I got fired.
Okay, what was the reason that they gave you as to why they fired you?
Oh, right. Okay, so that's a huge fucking deal. So, so basically the week that it happened, I had already had issues where I like miss a shift or something because I have like, sorry, I have an autoimmune, so other issues.
So you missed some shifts.
Yeah, because it's not about the no call no show that I got fired because it was some BS. Because basically in the beginning of the week I wasn't scheduled for this Friday shift, and then I had an issue where someone needed that shift covered, and I was like, oh, I'm not working, so I can cover it. But it ended up getting covered, so I didn't have to work. So it was clear I didn't have to work, and then Friday rolled around, and I just happened to look to see if the schedule was up for next week, and I was like, and then I looked at the schedule, and I was supposed to be working Friday all of a sudden, when, like, not even 2 days ago in the week, like, me and a manager and a whole other employee, like, confirmed that I was not working Friday. So all of a sudden my schedule changed, and then no one called me. And, like, normally, like, the managers will call you, like, 10 minutes. If you're not there the first 10 minutes of the shift, they'll call you and be like, hey, where you at? And I didn't get that because I wasn't like looking. I didn't think I was supposed to work, and no one called me. So, yeah.
Okay,
and then
so this is what they used as the reason why they wanted to fire you.
Yes, exactly. I came in the next day and they fired me.
Okay, and you believe that that is a cover up for them just wanting to fire you because they didn't, want to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, totally. Because sorry.
So, like I said, we had a call that was kind of similar to this, and so I have similar questions for you. Are you planning on trying to take any further action to this?
Totally. I already talked with like an attorney and all for it.
Okay.
And I'm basically just trying to get the money for it. I've been working, I had to get a new job, but it wasn't, I had to get a job immediately because I have bills and stuff. So it wasn't exactly a good money enough. So I'm basically my best friends that I'm with now, we're all trying to raise money. They're going to help me be able to, because once I know I'm going to win it. The attorney said that if I took it to court or even settled it, like it's retaliation no matter what, like even without the transphobia, it's retaliation. But I do live in the South, so it's kind of like, we kind of want them to settle. I don't know if I want to, anyways, but yeah.
Sure,
yeah. Yeah, so I am trying to take legal action. I'm trying to save the money to do so.
Well, I'm glad that it sounds like your friends have been very supportive of you, and I'm sorry that happened. I mean, that's a whole bunch of bullshit to deal with.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
What are you kind of doing moving forward? Did you get a new job that you're more happy with?
Yeah, I have been working at a vape store because I just, it was easy. But I'm starting a new job tomorrow, actually, working with dogs. I love dogs. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
And I've been writing a book. So I've just been, like, kind of able to take the time to myself. Actually, it's kind of been a blessing, I guess.
Okay, good.
Because I've had more time.
Because, I'm sorry to keep comparing you to the other call I had, but it's interesting how you both have a similar story. Because the other person I talked to about this, they felt like going after the person that fired them would they felt as though it would cause them a lot of stress. And I'm glad to hear that it doesn't, and I don't know because I haven't asked you about it yet, but it doesn't sound like to me the process of suing these people is a detriment to you. It sounds like you're doing it, but at the same time you are simultaneously moving on with your life and not letting the fixation on this situation that happened to you prevent you from getting a new job, fucking working with dogs, doing your stuff, like living your life, and you're with your friends. It sounds like you've been able to kind of simultaneously do those things, which is I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. I had a weird situation where I kind of ran into the managers outside of like just living life, that fucked me up a little bit, but I got past it because I have really good friends, a good support system.
Good. That's awesome. Jaden, I hope that you win your case. I hope that the situation as a whole, and I mean, look, I'm not worried about you, dude, because it seems like you're moving along in life just well, just, you know, without this being a sort of negative fixation for you. At least, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the vibe I'm getting from what you're telling me.
Yeah, kind of. It's stressful when I think about it, but like I said, my friends are always like, nah, fuck these people. We're going to take them to court. Fuck them. Yeah.
Jaden, is there anything else that you want to say to the people of the computer before we go?
I love your podcast. I love everything you do. Thank you so much. I've been calling for like months to try to talk to you about this, and it's kind of awesome. Like, getting the validation from you and, like, I don't know, hearing you say that everything's going to be okay makes me feel better.
Well, I mean, you don't even need me to tell you that. It sounds like you're doing very well.
Thank you.
Good luck hanging out with all the dogs. Don't let them fucking spit on you. Unless if you like that.
Oh. I don't know, sometimes. Not by dogs, though.
Thank you for calling, Jaden.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good one.